Hey guys, this is Modelman and today we want to play Crabfight, my first game. Currently you can play my game on Windows and Android. The download link is in description. I made it in GameMaker Studio. Also for UI design I use Adobe Illustrator. For a couple of animations I used Adobe After Effects. Some of the images of the game were edited in Adobe Photoshop. I made the theme songs and sound effects in FL Studio. And to design the characters, environments, and most of the animations, I used Moho. Today we're gonna play this game and I'm gonna explain the story, characters, the abilities and features of my game. So before I start, spoiler alert. To play the game you can tap on the level or on this arrow at the bottom right corner of the screen. Using these two options at the top of the menu, you can control the volume of the theme songs and sound effects of the game. Tapping or dragging on the sliders both works, and by tapping on the icons you can completely disable them. The story is about a crab who found himself in the middle of nowhere, found by a blue crab, which then turns out to be a really skillful crab. The blue crab works for the king crocodile and makes weapons for the soldiers of him, and in exchange, the king crocodile let him live in a house somewhere in his territory. The soldiers are in fact some orange crabs and the king crocodile's baby crocodiles. Some of the weapons of the game are shells. The ones which I call defenders attack by pushing the shell towards you, and the other type of the soldiers, which I call snipers, shoot you from the top of the towers by shell guns. They shoot pearl actually. Also we have some baby crocs that try to bite you, and sometimes they have dynamite. And the last type of enemy is baby vulture. Some of them carry nothing while some of them carry a mine. The view of the game is from top, unlike most of the Android games in this genre. Anyway, throughout the game you're gonna face some bosses. This game has 3 bosses: the king crocodile, the vulture, and the last and final boss, the evil and mighty scorpion. The genre of the game is not platformer, is not racing, is not third-person shooter, is not role-play game, is not romance, is not adventure. It's in fact a combination of all of them. Throughout the game you're gonna play as a red crab from childhood to adulthood. His actual name in the game is also Red. The blue crab who's adopted us is called M. As you play, you experience being a child looking for friends, being captured by soldiers because you have committed a crime, being a slave and working in a mine, escaping from it with the help of your friends, finding a safe place with the help of snail runners, being in love with your girlfriend, and the rest of the story that you'll see throughout this video. The game has NPC just like some roleplay games. You can play this game in 2 different languages, English and Persian. Persian was the only language that I knew except English. That's why I decided to give you the ability to play this game in every language that I know. One fact about the game is that it starts with some simple walking, running, carrying, talking gameplay, but during the development of the main character of my story, there will be some situations in the next levels of the game that you must really struggle to win the level. The game also has some cutscenes with the skip button in case you're one of the players with not much of a patience. And also it has 3 difficulty levels: the peaceful mode, which is the easy peasy one, the real life mode, which can be a little bit challenging, and the jaw dropper mode, which is an experience of being in hell. The peaceful mode gives you a star after finishing each level, while the real life mode gives you 2 and the jaw dropper mode gives you 3 stars. One more thing is that the real life mode and jaw dropper mode are locked at the beginning of the game and you can't play them, so you're not allowed to play with the next difficulty level until you finish the game with the previous difficulty level. And next there is a list of ability that you can achieve. Due to being child or adult, some of the abilities will only be available when you're a grown-up crab and you won't be able to use them as a child. Others require achieving a number of stars. Some of these abilities are in-game abilities like walking fast, carrying object faster, or faster recovery. The rest of them are the ones that you can use to customize the appearance of your character, like having the ability to change the color of the bullets, the weapon, and the cape. Since this game has some cutscenes with dialogue, you might read them fast or slow based on your reading skills, so there is an option in the settings of the game that you can change the duration of dialogues and tell the game how much time do you need to read each dialogue of the game. the number of it is based on seconds, and since the game teaches you how to play using subtitles throughout the game, you can hide it or show it from the settings, because in your second round or third round of playing the game, you already know how to play, and you may want to hide it to leave more space for yourself. You can delete all of your achievements by tapping on new option. It will reset the game as if you're playing it for the first time. Using these two options at the right or left, you can navigate to the level you want to play. Also, dragging to the right or left can do the same thing. Then we have an exit option, which helps you to quit the game. The pause menu is quite the same as main menu. The only difference is you can see the difficulty level at the top left corner of the screen. And I think that's it. Now we can play the game. Let's wait for the game to load. It might take something between 5 to 10 seconds to load, depends on the device that you're using. As I said, this is the main menu of my game. To play it, you can tap on the level or the arrow. Here at the beginning of the game, we are still a baby and are not capable of moving. A couple of orange crabs find us. They don't know about our identity, and then they notice that your color is different, and then because the blue crab is coming and they're scared of him, they run. The blue crab always wears a cape. His name is M, and just like you, his color is also different from the other crabs. He then decides to adopt you as his child, and the cutscene is finished. And the next scene takes place in 1 year later, and M calls us and says, "Come here." You can see his house at the right side of the screen. He lives with us in that house. The subtitle teaches us how to walk, and as M talks to us, he lets us to play with the orange crabs, but under one condition, and that is no fighting, because he's promised the king not to fight. In the game, the blue wave helps us to proceed and finish each level. So you go to blue waves and ask the orange crabs to be friends with you, something that they are not really interested in. But do not lose your hope, because you have to try every chances that you have. Eventually you see that a little girl is hidden under a tree, and since she finds you a reliable person, she comes out, and then you will have a conversation to get to know each other. Her name is Pinky. We ask her to be friends and she accepts. Red is wondering why she was hiding. She was hiding here because unless the orange crabs bother her and she's afraid of them, she is in fact lost on a trip with his parents, and she seems to be here in the jungle for quite a while since then, and of course she is starving. Not a good place to get lost. So we decide to bring her fruit. Okay, maybe the apple on that tree can help. We go to where the blue wave is. Whoa, an orange crab is trying to attack her. See the health bar at the top of her head. Let's punch this guy to save Pinky. Oops, they destroyed him. So now we can walk faster. We got a star. Of course you're gonna see this window only if you win the level. Not gonna show you what does lost window look like. In the next level, the king crocodile has captured us. Although Mr. M apologizes and tries to save us, the request is not accepted by the king. He's really mad at us, and since we destroyed one of his future soldiers, to revenge, he's gonna take the magic cape away. This is where we find out that this cape is so important and has some magic powers. He asks one of the baby crocs to call the vulture. M is trying to say his last words to change his mind, and then it seems that he liked the orange crabs and he's a racist. Here the vulture comes. He has two beautiful stones on his back. Then the king asks vulture to take us to the mine where the evil scorpion lives, and of course he obeys. And in the next scene, 1 year later, you find yourself a slave working for Scorpion and his counselor, the vulture. The vulture thinks you're grown enough to do the works in the mine. Of course we're not ready. Take a look at Pinky, who now works in the kitchen and cooks food for the vulture. The gameplay is easy but absolutely important. The goal of this game is to throw 4 stones at the back of the cart. You have to pick a stone from the left side by going on it, and then take it to Mr. M and tap on the throw button to throw it at the back of the cart attached to a snail runner. M says endure will be free, so we should continue. But man, you're just standing there and have no idea what we're dealing with. Unlike the vulture, the scorpion is not a fan of eating stuff. Instead, he prefers to destroy and torture the slaves. When you get hurt very hard by a boss, you turn upside down, and it takes some time to recover. If I want to tell more about the scorpion, he has some kind of electrical power because of those 3 gold stones on his back. You see them? They're important. Alright, I think this is the last stone that we should throw. And yes, we finished the level. Now we can carry objects faster. Let's play play the next one. We are on the way to the factory. We have to destroy the guards and pick up their guns. Now that we have a gun, the subtitles teach us how to use it. Based on what Mr. M says, the reason that he waited a year to escape is that he couldn't do it alone. After a quick tip to learn how to shoot, it's time to learn how to jump. The jump button is next to shoot button, you just have to tap on it. Now we're ready to fight, but since we destroyed the guards, if the other guards see this cart, they will attack. It's better to shoot at them from far away. Do not wait for them to be close. Usually the bottom side of the cart is the best place to stand. Every time Mr. M jumps, the jump button will be available for you to jump. But the problem is not just the guards, sometimes the baby vultures attack. In this level, your jump skill is not very good, so I recommend you to hold the joystick to the right until you finish your jump. And at the edge of the cart, you won't fall unless you've used the jump button. The destination that you choose to jump is very important. If you jump out of the cart, you'll die. If you jump to where Mr. M stands, you'll fall off the cart and die. The goal of this level is to change your cart a couple of times to protect yourself from being located by the guards. After changing your cart and destroying all of the enemies, the level will be finished. The levels don't always have a reward. You may only achieve a star after finishing a level. Alright, let's play the next level. Mr. M thinks they've closed the road by now and we have to walk. Okay, we escaped, but what about Pinky? We don't want to let her die in that prison. Mr. M knows that we love her and we will come back for her. But to save Pinky we have to defeat the enemies, and that's why we need the magic cape. The cape that King Crocodile had taken from us. Mr. M thinks that with the help of it we can win the fight. We don't know where the cape is, so it's better to separate and search for it individually. Here Mr. M reveals that he is the one who's made all of the weapons we see in the game. In return, the king have given the house to him. And the good news is he's already upgraded our weapon. Now it shoots faster. And finally it's time to do that attacking jumping gameplay. It starts with this simple fight with these two orange crabs. Do not let them get close to you. Let's go play the next one. As you proceed, we have less cutscenes than before and more gameplay. In these types of levels, the game forces you to use the jump button so you can get used to it. You can either tap or drag on shoot button to shoot. Dragging takes less energy, whereas tapping gives you the ability to shoot with a higher rate. In the next level, rather than the defenders, we have the baby crocs carrying dynamite. If you see this type of enemy in your map, it's better to destroy them first because the explosion of the dynamite can hurt the other enemies. Take a look at this last jump. Red is trying to balance his body after a jump. The robot is jumping continuously, so there is no balancing after a jump anymore. It means that right after you jump, as soon as you touch the ground, you can jump again. It gives you this ability to change your position quickly when you are in a great danger surrounded by lots of enemies. After destroying the rest of the enemies and finishing the level, it's time to test your abilities and face the real challenge. So let's play the next level. The first thing you should do is to jump and stay away from baby crocs, unless if they're close enough, they'll destroy themselves and their dynamite to hurt you. You should also stay away from the edges of the screen because you have no idea where they come from. The goal is to gather all of them in one place, then target the baby crocs to make the dynamites explode, and if still some enemies are alive, you just shoot at them. Of course, you know you shouldn't let them get close to you. Here I'm using tap instead of drag on shoot button to shoot more bullets at the moment. That's it, now it's time to play our first boss fight. I have to admit that the boss fights of this game are not that easy. Are you nervous? I'm not nervous. And yes, here is the King Croc's territory. He says to have the cape first we have to fight him. In this level, you should always take a look at his mouth. As soon as he opens his mouth, you can either jump to top of the screen or bottom of the screen. Depends on where you have more space. While you're looking at his mouth, you destroy 3 baby crocs. After that, you will see a dynamite. You destroy his owner and try to pick up the dynamite. Wait for him to open his mouth and throw it. Then he closes his mouth and boom. But there are some situations that you can shoot at him, like right before his attacks, or after he finishes his attack and wants to come back to his first place, or after destroying 3 of his baby crocs and picking up a dynamite and throwing it to him. When you see the smoke coming out of his nose, you can shoot at him. Now let's see what happens if he catches us. For a second you see an image of his mouth on the screen. The goal is to use every opportunity that you have to hurt him, like shooting at him when he gets hurt, or before and after his attacks, or throwing the dynamite to his mouth. If his mouth is closed, you're gonna see the explosion outside of his mouth. This will also hurt him, but not very much. After destroying him, if there is any baby croc left, you have to destroy them and pick up the cape. So the magic power of the cape is that if we exit from one side of the screen, we can teleport to the other side. Now we should go back to Mr. M, but since we destroyed the king, his soldiers will come to revenge. Dealing with lots of enemies forces us to use the power of the cape. I highly recommend you to teleport horizontally because it leaves you more space to fight, and after you teleport horizontally, you'll have some time to shoot at your enemies before they get close to you. And the good news is there is no limit, so you can teleport as much as you want. In order to proceed in the future levels, you need to use this feature. I want you to take a look at the changes in the map. The map is actually a desert, so this was actually the other way that Mr. M chose when we separated from each other. In this level we have some snipers. There are many ways to win these types of levels. One way is that first you kill the enemies on the ground and then you go for the snipers, because it takes something like 40 bullets to destroy a tower. After that you have to fight with the sniper face to face. When a sniper is on a tower, he shoots you with low rate. And one more thing is that no matter if they're on a tower or on the ground, you can always shoot at their bullets to destroy their bullets. After destroying enemies on the ground, you can dodge by jumping or teleporting, or shoot at their bullets to protect yourself against their attacks. As soon as one of them touches the ground, he tries to shoot at you faster, so it's better to destroy him first, and then you go for the one who's on the tower. Let me dodge by jumping. See this higher rate of shooting when he's on the ground? That's what I was talking about. And from now on, if we get very hard by a boss, we can recover faster. Oh, Mr. M, no, don't hurt him. No, they killed him. The scorpion thinks that since Mr. M is gone, destroying Red should be very easy. He decides to go back to prison and leave us to be destroyed by the vulture. They indeed have no idea what this cape is capable of. Again, it's better to teleport horizontally, so if you see him close to you, you can escape to the other side. You should always take a look at him. As soon as you see him in red, it means that he's gonna fly, so stick to the sides and wait for the attack while shooting at him. Note that you can't shoot at him when he's in the air. Don't try that, okay? The first time he falls, you can see the red stone on his back. Just focus on the red stone and shoot to destroy it. Then the baby vultures will be gone and the second round of the fight will begin. Unlike the king, the vulture doesn't defend himself. You can always shoot at him, so don't lose any chance to shoot. After each fly, he hits you with 3 types of attack. A simple beak attack, which is not very hard, a wing attack and a heavy attack, which the vulture catches you and throws you. If he does this to you, you'll be paralyzed and you have to wait for a second to recover. I'm gonna wait for him to catch me, see? Here is the deal, since your bullet is red, it could destroy the red stone. But this stone is pink, and you can't destroy it with your bullet. Here you face some baby vultures with mine, and if they get close enough to you, or they get destroyed, they'll drop the mine, and it will explode in a second. And you will see a pink explosion. So the goal is to make them drop the mine next to the pink stone, and stay away from the explosion. Don't worry about the baby vultures. If they bite you, you won't lose that much of a health, so just focus on the plan. Now it's time to play the last round of this boss fight. No more baby vulture, no more stone on his back, it's just you and him. So just stick to the sides and teleport as soon as you see him in red to protect yourself and shoot and shoot. I believe that this is the longest level among all of the levels inside this game, but not the most difficult one. So if you just learn how to fight against this vulture, after a few tries you'll win, just like I did. Now that him is gone, the only friend of us who's alive is Pinky. So now that we have the magic cape, the best idea is to go back to prison to save her. At first glance, this level might look similar to level 3, but there are a lot of differences. First, since M is not here, you're on your own. Second, after killing a baby vulture, the next baby vulture is gonna come sooner, and I mean really sooner. And third, the number of times that you need to change your card is a lot more than level 3. One of the best ways that you can win this level is that instead of targeting the enemies, sometimes you need to target their bullets. Destroying the bullets protects you from their attack. This way you can protect yourself most of the times, like when things are out of control and two guards and baby vulture are attacking at the same time. Not having them has also some advantages, like having some space to dodge and having more space to jump to. When you jump to the last card, make sure there is no enemies and the level will be finished. And okay, you ready for one more boss fight? Let's go! Finally we met each other again, but he's not happy. Okay, let's show him what being red means. To stay away from him when he is running towards you, use the teleport power of the cape, and to protect yourself against his energy balls, you just have to jump. Jumping over the energy ball or away from it both work. The time of the jump is so important. If you touch the ground and the energy ball touches you, you will be paralyzed for some time. And one good news is, just like the vulture, he can't defend himself against your bullets, so use any chance to shoot him. But the problem is he has a really great power. That is, every time he thinks he's dying, he destroys one of his gold stones on his back to receive his electrical energy to heal himself. So he resists and won't just give up like the previous bosses. He fights to his last gold stone, and after that he's on his own. The goal is to make him destroy all of his gold stones and then start a real fight with him so you can finally destroy him. Unlike those short jumps of the vulture, the evil and mighty scorpion can run fast, and this gives you less time to shoot him whenever you find him away from yourself, and therefore you need to use teleport more than the times you use teleportability in boss fight against the vulture. Okay, we're close, let's finish him. Yes, now that we destroyed the scorpion, it's time to go back to prison to save Pinky. This is the final level. It is very important to start shooting before they start to move in this level, and then you just push the buttons to open the doors of the jails to save all of the crabs. They're really happy and appreciate us for saving them, and we're gonna leave Pinky to save her later. It's because we want to be alone with her at the end, and since she worked in the kitchen, the situation for her must be easier than the other slaves, and the other slaves might be in a more critical situation. That's why we're gonna save them first. Let's go for the last jail. They have no idea how many bosses and enemies we destroyed, but no problem, because at the end we can open the last jail and meet our beloved one. It was really a long journey, and now we can have her back again. Let's push this button, okay? What do you think her reaction is? She's really excited to see us. Of course the Red is also excited. And that's it for this game. Did you like it? It's time to take a look at our booklet to see what abilities we've achieved. To go to main menu, we tap on the house icon. The notification of your achievements are shown as a green circle, constantly turning on and off. Now we can play the real life mode. You can play jaw dropper mode after you finish all of the levels in real life. And in the booklet, we can see that we've achieved most of the abilities, and we can change the color of our bullet and our weapon. To do that, first you need to go back and then go to settings of your game. From here, you can select any color that you want for your bullet and your gun, and then you have to confirm. The real life mode is harder than peaceful mode, because if an enemy attacks you, Pinky or Mr. M, all of you lose more health than before. And keep that in mind. When you choose a different color for your gun or your bullets, you can't see the changes until you're capable of using the gun in the level 3. After that, you can see it. Changing the color of your gun and the color of your bullets gives you more control over the place that you want to stand and the direction that you're shooting at, because choosing the best color helps you recognize yourself in busy maps and helps you find the best direction to shoot. For some levels you might prefer the yellow color for the bullets, while for the others the green can be helpful. After finishing real life mode, jaw dropper mode will be available. It's the hardest one. You're gonna lose more health when they attack you, so be careful with it, and you can choose a color for your cape, but of course it's not available for you until level 9. After destroying the king crocodile, you can wear it, and after you finish all of the levels in jaw dropper mode, you will achieve the last ability, and that is shooting with a higher accelerate when dragging on the shoot button. Let's see what this ability actually is. You like it? And yes, this is the ultimate experience of playing this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, don't forget to share my game with your friends and subscribe, and see you in the behind the scenes.